So a couple of years ago, let me preface this by saying, a lot of speakers will come up and kind of explain why they are qualified to be talking with me today. For me, this is a little different. I'm an accidental entrepreneur. I'm an accidental business person. Every lesson that I share with you today really has just come out of me fumbling through this world that I know very little about, this business world. So, to me, these lessons have become very meaningful, and I think the way I stumble into them makes them, maybe pretty universal too. So, a couple of years ago, I wanted a product that I could sell to people because I've been fascinated with the idea of marketing something to people, and I wanted to figure out if I could play that game that a business person or a salesperson might play. My background is in creative writing, and I built websites, so I never really had that commodity that I could go to market with. But it was a cool world. I watched commercials and I saw these incredibly creative examples and wanted to be able to create something like that too. My problem, though, was that I had no product that I could sell. So I had to think of something very simple that I could create, that I actually wanted to create and sincerely get behind. It dawned on me as I was doodling one day that I could try my best to try to sell these doodles to people, because truthfully, the company is called I Want to Draw a Cat for You, and I can't think of any better mission for that company. It's something I actually want to do. So I came up with this product, a stick figure cat drawn on Sharpie on a plain white piece of paper in kind of a creative looking envelope that I could send to people. And then I was able to tackle that challenge of how do I then sell that to people. Now I have this product, I can create the website, I can create the commercial, and I can try to push this out to market. So I'm going to show you the commercial that I originally created. You've seen some of this wrap in my Shark Tank appearance already. It's a little redundant, but I'll tell you, if I have an ulterior motive here today, it's to just bury this jingle so deeply into your brains that upon leaving the event, all you can do is rush home and purge it from your memory by spending $9.95 on a stick figure cat for you or a family member. So bear with me for 60 seconds. Here's the commercial that I originally launched with.
I'm pretty good looking at an average guy. I work with computers, that's no lie, but that's not what I want to do. I want to draw a cat for you. 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 I'll draw you a cat that's short and fat. I'll draw you a cat with a pork pie cat. I'll draw you a cat, whatever the vibe. I'll draw the cat that you describe. I'll draw it on paper, head, body, and tail, but I'll put my drawing in there. Give it to a friend, you can keep it for yourself, you can put it on the desk, you can put it on the shelf. It's $9.95, you can pay online, 24/7, anytime. I want to draw a cat for you. I want to draw a cat for you. I want to draw a cat for you. I want to draw a cat for you.
So on Shark Tank, we made it a little less disturbing because I was talking to investors. But really what I was attempting to do here is intimidate my customer base into purchasing a stick figure cat, or this guy is going to find you. And now here I have you all trapped in a room for 8 hours. So I launched that commercial really as a joke to my friends. Here was my company. I have a lot of friends who work in business, who create actual real life things that people want to buy, and this was my lobby into that little battle. And I sold a bunch, and I sold about 100 of these stick figure cats at $10 a piece. The catch, of course, with this company is I can't really draw cats. I'm a poor artist, so I had the obstacle here of how do I sell something that I can only marginally create. Sure, this only took me a couple of minutes. Actually, the rainbow took a while. And while I can sort of draw cats, I cannot draw horses or unicorns. But I'm dabbling in 3D perspective now. So with that obstacle, I had to sell this product based on things other than merit, right? I had to sell based on nerve. The nerve of this guy wants to sell me a cat. He can't even draw a cat. Those things don't have whiskers, they don't have tails, they are people with triangles on their heads. To further prove my point, can anyone tell me what that object is that he's holding? It was supposed to be an egg roll, but thanks for not saying a book or a cigar. We're talking about this one over here, right? The round one. So I sold about 100 of these, again, just based on the nerve, the audacity that this person wanted to sell a cat. But the further success of this was based on two things. These two emails that I sent, again, just based on nerve here. I sent an email to Groupon masquerading myself as an actual business. This was back in the day when Groupon had fewer competitors, and when they put out a deal, there was always, a rush to purchase these things. So I sent them my company. I said, hey guys, I have a very legitimate company in which I provide stick-figure cats for people at the price of $9.95. Let's do a deal for these. Really all I was looking for here was a funny rejection letter. This whole project was supposed to be a way to collect hilarious rejection letters. Instead, I got a call from a Groupon sales rep the next day who said, yeah, we really like this. We think we're going to go with this. They wanted to run a Black Friday special right after Thanksgiving. No, sorry, a Cyber Monday schedule. So on Cyber Monday after Thanksgiving, they launched this in a very small market in Santa Cruz, California, just as a side deal. Very quickly, Reddit picked it up, Fark.com picked it up, several of those sites that make things more popular than they deserve to be. And I watched, we had set the limit at 1,000 drawings, again, as a joke. I'm not going to sell 1,000 of these things. Even at $3 Groupon price, there was no way I was going to sell 1,000 of these. And then I can't express to you the sickening feeling in my stomach as I watched that number very quickly crawl to 1,000. Over 3 days, they were sold out. And suddenly there I was with 1,000 people who had these vouchers for stick-figure cat drawings and no idea if I could fulfill that many drawings. Needless to say, there was no more $9.95 per drawing. Groupon took a hefty chunk of that, and after paying for the stamp and the Sharpies, this was kind of a losing deal for me. But what it did was provide me with this flash of viral attention, and it was that attention that suddenly legitimized a company that, was kind of a joke social experiment. Because of that legitimacy, when I sent the audacious email number 2 to Shark Tank casting director, 2 sentences, very simple. I said, I draw stick-figure cats, let me at them. I think, okay, now I'll finally get my rejection letter. This is going to be great. And again, 2 days later, he called me. Yeah, I think we're going to go with this. It's a good idea. So I had a measured response. I understood most likely I'm being put on this show to be made fun of. So for a few days, as I was crafting my pitch and going back and forth with him on the phone, I took a very serious approach to this. I didn't rap, I didn't dance. I just really outlined the merits of this company and why it was going to be the next Disney-sized brand. And the casting director kept saying, you do this dance on your website. It'd be great if we could kind of work that in somehow. Until slowly it became the real meat of my pitch, was I was going to march out there and dance and sing. And once I embraced the idea that I was out there to make a fool of myself, everything kind of clicked into place. I really had nothing to lose. Shark Tank, for those of you who don't know, it's a show where entrepreneurs bring their companies in various stages. Some people are crawling by and really need a deal to move their lives forward and crawl out of debt. Well, very few people like myself are just kind of going out there with nothing to lose. And I think through that attitude, I was delighted, and suddenly I made a deal with Mark Cuban. I promise I didn't expect that I would ever sell a piece of this company to Mark Cuban, of all people, when I started it. And there was the surprise. So those are the things that helped it grow and gain attention. I can't, just like with Kane's Arcade, I can never claim that the idea alone is enough to make this a big success. But I think elements of it, for me, that have helped keep this real and keep this successful Well, there are three things. This is really fulfilling an actual need. As silly as it is, how many times do you go to the mailbox anymore and get excited about what you might find? Suddenly, here's this company where you can pay $9.95 and get this really cool-looking envelope in the mail. And that sounds, is that really worth it? But go to your mailbox and look through it and think of how exciting it would be to get something that you ordered in a cool envelope. When I was a kid, it was Ranger Rick magazine. Okay, it was this silly little magazine. I don't even remember one thing from it. But when I would go to the mailbox and find that this month's Ranger Rick was there, it was the coolest thing in the world. Number two, apparently there's a market for cheap art. So, but number three, and I think the most important thing, I want to say the word loneliness. What I really mean by that is this project creates a conversation. When you pay $9.95 for a stick figure cat, you are talking to a company, me, and that company is talking back to you in a very personal way. This person wanted a cat with a tennis racket holding an egg roll for a reason I don't understand, but it's something very personal to them. I took that request, I validated it, and I talked right back to them. And I'm not trying to stand up here and say, hey guys, a conversation with me is the greatest conversation in the world. No, I'm not a special person. I am a person, though. And having a real conversation with a company on a personal level is enough to really fulfill that need. And kind of the absurdity of it erases that loneliness. If you are someone who thinks of absurd things and you see absurd things out there, you realize, there are other people who are as goofy as I am, and I can talk to them for $9.95. $5 extra for color, and $5 extra if you want it shipped in a flat envelope, otherwise it gets wrinkled in the mail. So the lesson that I stumbled into from this is that sincerity breeds delight. So again, it's not who I am in having this conversation, it is that it's a sincere back and forth with the customer. And that to me is where the delight comes from, because it's not from that egg roll. That's I want to draw a cat for you.